Hello folks, it is Napalm Dawn on G for G. Today we're taking a look at the new season in Marvel Snap, which is the Big in Japan season. Those of you who happen to remember back to Marvel Avengers Alliance, Big in Japan was actually a tub or a team-up bonus for Marvel Avengers Alliance, and it had certain Japanese-related characters and characters who had a good deal of popularity in Japan, like Psylocke was one of them, Sunfire was one of them. There were several like that, and it always makes me think of the movie Singles. So when I was in college, two movies were very big, and it sort of split, I think, college community a little bit. You had Reality Bites and you had Singles. Reality Bites was like a slightly very close post-college movie where it was people who were just getting out of college and starting their adult life, whereas Reality Bites was a little bit down the road from that. I'd say maybe 5 years out of college, 4 years out of college. Reality Bites had a very popular music, poppy soundtrack and everything, whereas Singles had a more Seattle sound grunge soundtrack with like Alice in Chains and Chris Cornell in there, and Pearl Jam and Jimi Hendrix and Paul Westerberg and everything. But the reason why I say Singles is because there is a sort of Pearl Jam-esque band in the movie, and I think they say something like, we're big in Belgium, or we're hit in Belgium, or something like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the Big in Japan season here for Marvel Snap. So the first thing that you're going to get is Wolverine's son, Daken. When you reveal him, you're going to add the Muramasa Shard to your hand. It's a very similar setup to Thor and Mjolnir, except the Shard goes into your hand, where I believe Mjolnir actually goes into your deck somewhere. The Muramasa Shard says when this is discarded or destroyed, double Daken's power. And not to be confused with Daken as in the 1980s hair metal band who did a lot of songs for the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, including Dream Warriors. So if you're a fan of the old Freddy or the old Nightmare on Elm Street movies, you may be familiar with them. I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street 3 where Daken did a good amount of music. Anyway, the Muramasa Shard doubles Daken's power. So if you were to discard this or destroy it, Daken just one time would go up to a 3/8. People are already doing some pretty killer combos with this. One of the ways is that you could Shuri into Daken or boost Daken on the way to getting played, and then when the Shard drops, you're doubling an already beefy Daken. I do believe if somehow you bring the Shard back, it is not working that the Shard works on Daken multiple times. So rather than trying to do things to the Shard, it seems like most people are having success going for attacking or boosting Daken rather than doing Shard tricks. So we're going to grab the credits. We're going to grab Daken boosters. We're going to grab gold. Credits. More Daken boosters. Now we're up to 50. My mystery variant is Pixel Iron Man. Honestly, you know, as far as pixels go, this isn't actually that bad. I've seen some pretty bad ones. Trigger Scent Nachos. That's kind of funny. I feel as if I had that as my title, I would just be telling everybody that I was like fat. So we have a Magneto avatar. We've got credits. We have Magneto boosters. A Magneto variant, a mech variant. Wow, that's really interesting. I think I would use that. I'd have to check my Magnetos, but I think I would use that. More Magneto boosters, random boosters, mystery variant, a cool Wolverine. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It's an X-23 card back. I saw the 4 and immediately thought Wolverine, but yeah, that split between the two sides would be too big. A X-23 card back. Substitute Sensei. That reminds me of Bleach with Ichigo Kurosaki, where he was a substitute Soul Reaper. I wonder if this is on purpose. I wonder if that is a slight little nod to Bleach over there. Interesting Iceman that looks very Gundam-ish, but also kind of looks like Al from Full Metal Alchemist. It sort of reminds me of Al's armor suit there. Actually, seeing it on the card almost kind of looks like Megatron. Interesting. Mystery variant at 40. New title. Lady Deathstrike's Nail Filer. It's like they were trying really hard for a joke on that one and didn't quite land it. A Daken Avatar. A very cool back. I like this back a lot. And at 50, you get the Daken Mech variant. And then you start into the caches. So, interesting season. We have a $20. The Doctor is tin, not in. $20 for Morbius Mech variant. You've got a Morbius Mech variant avatar. 465 Morbius boosters. 500 gold, 500 credit, 1,000 collector's tokens. I feel that the collector's tokens, they are the big thing in these packs. That's what I would get the pack for, is the collector's tokens more than anything. Although gold is running a little low right after Token Tuesday. We've got the Stegosaurus Rex kit over here, which is a Stegron back, a Kaiju variant for Stegron. Sort of reminds me of a Magic the Gathering card. Like, this strikes me as a big beast from Green Mana within Magic the Gathering. I mean, a little too yellow for beasts in Magic the Gathering, but just the kind of the art and the styling of it. And this bundle is 7,500 gold, which if you were to look at the gold conversion rate, that is nearly $100 for this particular bundle here. Money off, obviously, depending upon your gold. They're now dropping tickets. I got a golden ticket out of a cache recently. Not particularly thrilled with that. We have a premium mystery variant for 800 gold. Some pixels, Wasp transform, kind of looking like a fairy or fae. Not enjoying this Bass variant whatsoever. That's actually legitimately horrifying. That Killmonger's pretty cool. Sort of reminds me of like Hobie or Spider-Punk to a certain degree. Rian Gonzalez for Rogue. Spirit of Thor. Oh, Thor with, or it's actually Destroyer Thor combo over there. That's kind of cool. I still have Null pinned over here in my shop. I do want to get him. Of course, my last one. I forget who my last one is, but I picked up Jeff in there somewhere. All right, so we have definitely had some changes this patch. Spider-Man is one of the bigger ones that people definitely have some opinions on. A lot of people have been like, why'd they do my boy Spidey like this? Some other people are like, good, he needed it. The community, it's definitely a very divisive update that they had done here on this one, and let's go ahead and bring up the snap patch notes so that we can talk about that a little bit. Be nice if they got the Steam version working the way that they had intended over there. The Steam version definitely still has issues with its media area. So here are the patch notes that we're getting with this season. Cable was 2-2, is still 2-2. Now what's happening is you draw the top card of your opponent's deck rather than the bottom. The developer note was that it was giving you America Chavez too predictably, and saying that drawing your opponent Chavez was usually good for them, not you. I disagree with that, because if you were running a Dracula deck and you want Chavez to be the discard at the end of the game to feed Dracula, okay, like you wanted Chavez to be there. So I kind of disagree with their note that that it's good for the opposing team. It could, there are definitely circumstances where it's bad. So that's their change. Magic was 3-2, is still 3-2. You can't play this on turn 6. On reveal, change the location of Limbo. Now it is, replace this location with Limbo, doesn't work after turn 5. They said this was in their OTA for July 20th. It's not a large change, just making her a legal card to play on turn 6. The VFX behavior has been changed a little bit. Mr. Negative was for -1. On reveal, swap the power and cost of all cards in your deck. The new one is going to be that it changes the caps so that they can't go over 6. Now, it is basically saying that this was good for certain zones that would attempt to increase the cost of your cards. However, for me, swap the power and cost of all cards in your deck. It's like, it's still doing it, which is kind of weird because Steam should be auto-updating. Rogue, old, 3-2. On reveal, steal an ongoing ability from a random card at this location. New, it now also triggers the on reveals too. And let's see, she's 3-2, so she should be up here. There's Gambit. So what they're saying here is now triggers on reveals if the copied ongoing card had one. So if it's got an on reveal, then goes to a ongoing, the on reveal happens. And you've got examples of that in, for example, Electro. He's a good one for that, where he has a on reveal, but then he has a ongoing. Spider-Man, here's the big one. He used to be a 5-4. Your opponents can't play cards at this location next turn. Now he's going to be 3-5. On reveal, move to another location and pull an enemy card from here to there. So he will move, and he will then drag a card with him on the enemy side. My client here on Steam does have this one. Move to another location and pull an enemy card from here to there. Could wonder if that would work with Kingpin, where if a card moves somewhere on turn 6, destroy it. It could drop Kingpin and then drop Spider-Man. The thing is, this could get a little bit tough to do in turn 6 because you never know if something will fill up your lane or the enemy lane across from Kingpin will fill up. Like, I know if I see Kingpin on turn 3 and I've seen maybe a sign of a spider in the deck or think that a Spider-Man is coming, just fill up your side opposing to Kingpin over there, and then it's not going to happen. So the developers' notes were that it was a frustrating angle to the card and that he was polarizing, and they wanted people to have a awesome Spider-Man experience and not have it be so divisive, because he's Spider-Man. He's supposed to be like a well-known, popular hero that you're going to want to play and you're not going to hate. I don't know that Second Dinner's hitting it on this one. Evolved the thing, so this is thing with high evolutionary. Afflict a random enemy card here at 1 power. Repeat this twice more. On reveal, afflict 3 random enemy cards here with -1 power. I feel like it's... when I read these sentences over here, I feel like it's the same thing. Afflict 3 random enemy cards here with -1 power. Afflict a random enemy card here with 1 power. Repeat this twice more. So you're still getting -1 on the opposing side 3 times. And even if it's just 1 card, I don't know. Afflict 3 random enemy cards. Wait a minute. Okay. I finally have figured out exactly what they're saying there. It's affecting... It has the chance to... Okay, got it. Afflict 3 random enemy cards here with -1 power. So, rather than going once and repeating twice, potentially selecting the same card more than once, this is basically saying up to 3 cards are going to get -1 power. If there's a 4th card there, it's going to pick 3 out of the 4, and you're not going to get a duplicate. So it's spreading it rather than potentially stacking it. I finally have actually figured out what they're looking for in that wording. That baffled me for a while. I was like, it seems like the same thing. So for my decks, still was using a lot of my Agatha deck, but towards the end of the season, I had played around a little bit with a Phoenix deck. Human Torch, Carnage, Multiple Man, Venom, Hulkbuster, Shuri, Phoenix Force, Taskmaster, Red Skull, Zola, Heimdall, She-Hulk. Used it a little bit, especially when you had some quests to do it. Not really the weekend one, because it was like 15 games, and that was a little too much for me to do with the Phoenix deck. Lego My Legio is a Legion deck with M'Baku, Ebony Maw, Okoye, Spider-Ham, Jeff, Green Goblin, Storm, Maximus, Hobgoblin, Iron Man, Legion, the Living Tribunal. So the idea is to try to get a really good lane early on with Ebony, hopefully not draw M'Baku, so maybe he can jump in at the end. Green Goblin, Hobgoblin to weaken an enemy side, Storm to lock down a lane, Iron Man to boost a really good lane, and you know, the Legion Storm combo there, and then Elder Tribunal to take my Iron Man lane and smooth it out over the rest, hopefully put up some decent numbers. New Patriot was just a newer style Patriot deck that I used a little bit towards the end of the season, and then deck 20 is a it's sort of a lockjaw. It's a bit of a cycle deck over here based on Mirage, where copy the lowest card in your opponent's hand, give it into your hand, give it 2 power, and it's basically like a Quinjet collector-ish style deck that I have to actually try and work collector in there. But hopefully it's mainly cycling things like Spider-Ham. By the way, cycling Spider-Ham is actually stupid, because if you send Spider-Man through, or Spider-Ham through Lockjaw, and then you drop him again later, he hits the exact same card again. So cycling him doesn't do much. Cycling Mirage and some of the others are good, and then Captain Marvel comes in for hopefully a win at the end there if needed, and Iron Lad maybe tries to pull Magneto and Infinite for free towards the end there. So there's some things that could be done with this deck to make it a little bit better. So that's what we've got going to Marvel Snap. That is the Big in Japan season. We have new cards, of course, in Daken. And then you also have X23, along with a few others. Let's see here. Jean Grey. Yep. Players must play their first card here each turn if possible. So Echo's been around for a bit. Of course, Kang, Legion, High Evolutionary. And then we're going to be getting into Lady Deathstrike. On reveal, destroy each card here with less power than this. So that could be sort of like almost a mini Galactus to a certain degree that doesn't affect zones, but the cards. I wonder if you Shuri Lady Deathstrike, that could be potentially killer. A slightly chibi MODOK. We've got Stature coming in, who of course is cost 1 if your opponent has discarded a card from their hand this game. Here's X23. When this is discarded or destroyed, regenerate it at a random location. You get +1 energy next turn. Really interesting to see what could happen with X23 in a destroy deck. Silk, one of everybody, considered a better web spinner than Spider-Man himself, and always a fan favorite. A little fan service going on with Silk under most representations. 2/5. After any card is played here, this moves to another location if it can. You've got Silver Samurai. Each player discards the lowest power card from their hand. Sounds good for the Muramasa Shard. And then Jeff, Ghost Spider, Null. And then we are into September pretty firmly after that one. So there you go, folks. There is the updates to Marvel Snap. Spider-Man being the most controversial. What do you guys think of the new cards like Daken, X23, Silver Samurai, and very specifically, what do you think about the Spider-Man changes? Very interested in hearing that one. All right, folks, Napalm Dolan signing off. Catch you in the next video.